Okay, how's everybody doing? Oh man, nothing like an ice cold lemonade after a hard day's work in the heat. Good block of ice in there, frozen glass from the freezer, fill it full of the best lemonade you can find. Oh man, good stuff. So, doesn't look like much, but I've achieved quite a bit, and I also want to give you a little bit of an update of the progress so far, of where I'm at right now with Module A. I did a artist rendering of the layout here. I've ordered the Baltic 7-ply 3/8 birch for the roadbed. That's what I'm going to go with, which is like this here. See that? That's 2, 4, 6, 7 ply at 3/8. It's the best plywood you can get, 3/8. That's what I'm using for roadbed. I got this whole island done, or this whole area of water that's going to be, this is the sea level or river level. I finished all the corners just like an hour ago, finally, and all the plugs and the plates and the casing, sub fascia. That was more work than I thought, actually. But I'm glad I did it because they're all modular now, upper and lower, and they're keyed. Okay, so 3 bolts on each section, and it pops apart. And let me just show you quick how I finished that up down the corner there. I'll just insert something quick because I know there's people that are interested. They want to see that, okay? So as most of you may or may not know, this is Module A. This is Module B. This is the tongue that fits into A. B, A, right? It fits in. The whole seam is bolted with 3 bolts further down to the right. You can see Module B is bolted to A. There's a bolt there, one there, and one there. And this is all wax paper, so no glue gets in there. It'll just pop. I already tried it. Pops away easy. Then I run a little bit more wax paper here before I glue this river plate down. And then this little key, the ended tip of the river that merges away from the fascia here, gets glued on to Module B here, and that's where the joint is. There's just a little seam right there. That's it. You won't see it because it'll get painted over, and it'll pop anyway when it comes apart, right? Okay, and then this gets routed when this gets glued down. This top water surface, I'm going to route this edge to the fascia. This is the sub casing now, right? I'm going to put one more piece, but it's going to lay up against here. Okay, I just want to focus on this. So as you know, this is 2 layers of 1/8 red oak. Okay, this is 2 layers of 1/8 red oak. So it's already laid up the sub casing, but not finished. Hold on. So this is cut right through here, see? And then it's also cut, like the seams behind here. The only close of the seam here is just a thin layer of putty. That's it, right? That'll get painted because this is part of the river. But I've hidden the key, the joinery in here to separate the module, which will also separate all the way down the seam. But I'll talk to you about that later when I do that with a plywood plate and foam. But right now, this is important to get this because when I pop B from A one day, I want it to come apart clean, and I'll be stroking myself because I did it right to begin with. Okay, so here's a little tip for the apprentice, I'd say. When you're going to join 2 panels together, okay, I don't like to use just a butt joint like that, even if I put a glue plate behind. So I like to put a 45 and then just have a plate behind, and then just push them both together, and then the 45 just slicks underneath, and you get a beautiful tight surface with really little or no seam. Now there's many ways you can do this. Like in production, we used to have a big panel jig for doing, you know, long runs, for joining up MDF and so on. But I don't have any panel jigs right now, and I'm not going to build one because I only need a couple of scarfs on this project. And I don't have my panel saw, so I probably threw it away anyway. I hate those things. But so I'm just going to do this one by hand. This is the plate for the river. I got to add a piece because I don't want to waste this precious 5-ply 1/4 inch Baltic birch. So what I've done is I just drew a nice square line, and I know my angle's 45. And then I'm taking my trusty plane. I've had this for, oh, a long time. I love this little plane. And she never gets laid down flat like that. She's always on her side. And I put a stone to her every now and again. She's just razor sharp. So, you know, you want a long shaving like that. Right? That's how you know your plane is sharp. I'm almost there, so. You know, and it's nice to do it the old traditional way. It feels good with wood in the hand and, you know, using a plane, doesn't it? For all you carpenter types. See, there's one here. See there? Anyway, there's a nice 45 for you. Done the old way, right? Okay, so this is already cut through. So here's the third layer of 1/8 red oak, right? This gets glued and pinned like this, see? It's already cut through 45, right? So that gets glued and pinned. Then this next run is 45 scarfed, see? Watch. This tucks in like this, okay? Stay with me now. Okay, so that gets glued to the module B. So this is still cut through here. That can tighten up more. You have a nice tight seam there, okay? All right, so the sub casing is all finished. This gets just a stroke of a sand on top, so it's all smooth, the nice corner here. And then after this is all glued up and done, then all this major part is already done now. Now this is the 1/8 MDF board that you use for the fascia at the end, okay? So this gets just pinned on, okay? Over top. Just pins, that's all. So if you run into terrain, like this will be flush, right? But it'll rise to the right, and then I can just trim this with a knife to match the terrain. And this gets painted whatever finish you choose to do your fascia with, right? So when you pull this apart, well, all you do is you just pop off this 1/8 MDF, right? This is all part of the structure. The 1/8 oak, it's all part of it. It doesn't go anywhere. The only separation is right here with this 45 scarf is the whole module pops apart clean. Once you just pop off this MDF fascia skin, because it'll only be pinned on. That's all it needs is some pins to hang it, right? Okay, and then you can move it. And then when you go reset up again, you just pin the fascia back on. Okay, you got me? Okay, so that's good. So that's done. So it's ready for the MDF, finished fascia and upper valance. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a temporary upper valance, just 7 inches deep. Like there's a quick side elevation napkin drawing on the community tab on my main page if you check it out, right? And you see all the measurements there, like a cross-section elevation. And I don't know if I noted 7 inches on this, but just a temporary one, just to block the light out so I can get a general idea of how things are looking. And then at the end I might put a larger one because it's just going to be pinned all around onto the solid fascia. And I'm telling you, this is so solid now. Oh man, once the 3 layers of red oak laminated with carp glue, you wouldn't believe how tough that is. It's oak, man, but it's ply, right? Oh man, I'm telling you, I've done it many times before. I just forgot because I haven't done it for a long time. I've been retired, but man, I'm glad I went that road again because this is one solid benchwork and it's lightweight too. And it comes apart. It's modular. So when I go to strike this one day, like just say I had to move or whatever, this is going with me and it's coming apart and it'll be stackable. And that's where all the work is. And so that's why, you know, it's taken as long as it is to get the ball rolling here. But I'm getting there. You can see the maquette model there that I've been working from. Each square's 2 inches to the foot. But this drawing, this artist rendering drawing now that I'll just talk about here for a few minutes, this is off of the maquette model, right? But it's not exactly to scale as a maquette model, which is okay because it's good enough for the purposes of what I'm planning here, like in terms of module A here, okay? And as you can see, you can only get the ramp in and the approach. There's absolutely no room for the barge unless you ran it cantilevered out off the layout, but that's for another discussion. You can see the water here in the shoreline. Like this here is probably, could be foliage or sand, depending on the tide, because the Fraser River's tidal all the way up to Mission, BC. So, 60 miles inland, right? So the level of the tide is going to dictate the track height. And what I mean by that is, here's just a mock-up of the barge ramp right here, right? So this is 2¼ inches up to here, which makes the whole ramp and approach level. And so the whole layout, track layout, because this will be a flat switching shelf layout, is going to be at this height. And this is the river water, right? Which is about what's half of module A, like this plate is anyway, but the river will only be about 20% or so. So this, as you see here on the drawing, is about up to here, and then there's the approach, and then there's points back here. So these are going to be curved turnouts. I may run these curved turnouts just before module A and B here where the split is. Like this is where the module comes apart here. Okay, so I may run them over here or on this side. It depends how long of a run I want. And then I'm going to have a dual spur in here to service this warehouse. I'm going to service it from this end instead of the other because I don't have the room here. I just have room for just a small little lead where I can do a runaround here with 2 6-axle locomotives. I want to be able to run 2 6-axle locomotives MU'd, drop cars off, whatever. And then because SRY has SD40s, or actually SD38s, right? 6 axles too. So I want to be able to run 2 off this lead there and then do a runaround. Somebody had mentioned about a runaround. I wouldn't know what I was thinking. Of course I'm going to have a runaround, I'm saying to myself here, but. And then there'll be 3 tracks here, which I can switch and simulate cars coming in or whatever, But anyway, that's an operational situation. But then you can see the shoreline here. I'll try to keep it according to the prototype. It's a sort of a man-made reef here, but it's very square, but it doesn't make for good artistic look when it's square like that. I might round it off a bit, and because it juts way out, and I want the river to run down the end there, just as you can see where it sort of tapers off down there. So, and then the actual track schematic, I want to try to stay accurate. We'll have to run onto module B. But this is pretty much what A is going to look like. You see this long warehouse here, just like the pink building on Glover Road. On an angle, like a slice of an angle. Remember that one from Glover Road? So I'm going to build it in the same style. It'll be a full model, but a flat, except it's going to be not like 18 inches long. It'll be like 5 feet or 6 feet long. The actual prototype runs longer than this. It would run the full length of the module, but I'm not going to do that because down in the corner here, I'm going to have another building there. You can see in the prototype photos, and there's a roadway that goes up through here. I can have a flat back there and trees to block that. And then this will be another background partial warehouse, which I might run a spur off of here to service that, or from down here. I'm not really sure. A little extra operation. This is kind of the rough footprint of what I can get away with here. Like if I added the barge, like the barge would take up this much space alone. and then it would be running the ramp, and the approach would run right off my 10 feet. I wouldn't have near enough room, right? So remember how we talked about that? We get excited about ideas and they don't work out, right? So that's kind of where I'm at with that right now. So we're getting close, right? And I'm really feeling it, but I'm pushing hard. There's some other things I wanted to talk about here, but I don't have time right now. I want to keep these vlogs to 10 minutes. So, and that because there'll be more, frequent, right? To keep you in the loop and stuff. So yeah, so all the casing's done all the way over to the end of module B there. You can see where my tool slip is. So if it's down there, it means I'm down near the end. So, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it right now. And, oh, the backdrop, right. The backdrop will be going in next this week. The MDF backdrop like this right here. This is 1/8 MDF. It just slides right in. So I might scarf the seams on these. I'm not really sure, like I did on the fascia. We'll see. We'll see what the join looks like. The nice thing about a 45 scarf on anything, it hides the seam as I demonstrated earlier, right? Okay, so that's vlog number 6 update for you. So pitter patter, get at her, right? Thanks to all my new subscribers, by the way. Thanks for signing on. And hang in there. It's going to be an exciting road. River Road. Moving forward. Cheers.